All right. So I'll just wait for people to start getting in, and then we'll get the show on the road. Ryan, thanks for the show. I sent you a DM on Twitter. I'm from PA. All my books. Caesars do not show up on OddsJam EV page no matter what I do. Let's see. It would be easier if I saw your screen, Ryan, just to get a better idea of what it shows up for you. So if you can send that over to me, just shoot me a DM. I'll be on the lookout for it. I'd be more than happy to answer. All right. I think let's just get into this. Honestly, I've been seeing some stuff popping up, and I was like, you know what? There's nothing better than just hopping on live. We hammer some bets together, hopefully make some money, and just like kind of get in that March Madness mood. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm pumped. I refreshed just like a half hour ago, and I was like, oh my god, like these March Madness lines are out right now, and we all know how much line movement there's going to be. So might as well hop on it now, get the best line possible. And then also, if we have some time towards the end, I did like a bracket with some of my college buddies, and I need to whatever put it together. So I'm probably going to do that also if you guys want to chime in and give me some advice, because aside from like betting, I don't know too much about college basketball. So I'd love your guys' insight. All right, let's get into it. So let's hit the button, obviously. First on the list, we got Charleston money line against San Diego State. Here's the thing, right? I'm going to sprinkle a few bucks on every underdog money line. Matt Modi said he did that last year, and he had a ton of success with it. I figured, you know what? I've been meaning to do it every single year, but I've kind of been like, short on funds a bit. But I think this year I'm just going to throw like 25 bucks or so on every single underdog and see how it goes. So, I mean, we might as well get the best line on this. So I'm going to log in a WinBet, get this going, and that's going to be my first bet of the stream. All right, give me 1 sec just so I can log in. All right. First one we're going with is, when's that game? Thursday the 16th. All right. So for this one, we'll just, like I said, I'm not going to put a crazy amount on this one. I'll probably I'm going to put 25 on every single underdog money line. And for stuff that's like positive EV and kind of a big dog, I'll put a little bit more. So for something like this, I'll put like 50 bucks on it. 50 to win 97.50. Can't complain. Give me a sec for it to confirm. All right, there we go. Minus 195. All right, awesome. Man. Give me 1 sec, guys. All right. Now we're good to go. Man. And obviously, if you guys have anything to say, feel free to chime in. Just make sure to comment on YouTube, because I'm not going to be able to see it if it's on Twitter. If it's on YouTube, I'll be able to see it all. I can attach it right here. Let's go. And I'd be more than happy to hear you guys' insight, because like I said, aside from betting, I don't know too much about these schools. But I'd love to learn a little bit about it. So this right now, I'm just on the EV page. We'll also look on the low hold page and the arbitrage page. I'll show you a lot better why I like the low hold page so much, especially for early line movement. So we can just start on the EV page first, knock out a few things that we like, and then kind of go from there. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff too. Like if you want Minnesota money line against the Hawks, plus 190 is not bad. But right now, we're really going to just focus mainly on college basketball. So right here, the reason I've liked this play so much, and I actually saw this on the low hold earlier, is you could see that, yes, like Caesars is at minus 110, WinBet's minus 108, less juice. We love it. We look at Pinnacle's line, okay? And obviously you're like, why are there only a few different books offering this? Well, if you expand the page, you can see that I guarantee you we're getting it at 18.5. Probably the other books. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 19.5 and upwards of 20 on my bookie. So grabbing it at 18.5, yeah, a point and a half isn't massive on like an over-under, but when it comes to spread, I mean, I've seen this countless times year in, year out in these March Madness games where it's like a 1 seed versus a 16 seed, where it comes down to some bogus buzzer beater, backdoor cover, and everyone that had Houston, let's call it minus 20, loses. So grab get a minus 18.5 as of now. I can guarantee you that's the best line you're going to get it at, and it might move more in your direction. I mean, this could close at like minus 120 or minus 21, minus 21.5. So we're going to lock this in on WinBet, minus 18.5, minus 108. Here we go. All right. We're not going to put, so usually I'll put like 150 on a bet. I'm going to lower it just to 125 just because there's going to be so many bets out there that I really just want to be able to hammer as many as I possibly can. Let's go down a little bit more. Boise State. I love this a lot. As you can see, all the books are even, minus 110 at the best. Pinnacle is clearly favoring Boise State on the money line. The thing is, when it comes to main market, and this is what I like to tell a lot of people, is that with player props, the odds aren't necessarily, the lines aren't necessarily going to change. So they're not going to go from like, over 19.5 points, over 20.5 points, unless there's like an injury that now boosts that person's stock. But they're going to change the odds from like minus 115 to minus 140, we'll say. When it comes to main market, like it's more so with spreads. You're trying to beat the line. Obviously, the line is correlated with odds, but you're trying to beat that line because they're not going to give you, they're not going to like set the main market at Houston minus 18.5 at minus 130. They'll just bump it up to like Houston minus 20 or something like that. So with something like this, it's more important to kind of look at the trends on where that money is leaning. And right now, as you can see, a lot of the money is coming in on Boise State, hence the reason why DraftKings is already favoring them. So is MGM, so is Pinnacle. So grabbing that 102 on a book that's favoring Northwestern right now is pretty solid value. So just give me a sec. Let me just log into my FanDuel account, and then we're good to go. I also do have a couple of tennis bets going on right now, so every so often I'm probably going to go check in on those, so just want to give you an FYI. All right, so right now we like Boise State at minus 102. Let's put that in, and then I saw there's a couple questions, so I'll make sure to go and answer those. I think for March Madness, our base unit's just going to be about 125 just across the board. Let's see, Justin. Have you changed your market with or anything? I currently only have 3 things showing up on my positive EV. No filters are on. It could depend on what state you're in, but I don't have like any recommended filters on. I don't know if you do, but I don't have any of those. The only thing I'm excluding are books that I'm like currently so limited on that it's just not even worth my time. So like a Betway, Hard Rock, stuff like that. Ryan said nothing is working for me either. I'm not sure what the issue could be on your guys' end. Like I said, I'd have to see something like visually to really see what the issue is. Because for me, everything is showing up pretty fine. So we got Boise State down. And I also like, what a lot of people will say, like they'll only play stuff that's like 2% and up. When it comes to when it comes to main market, I'll play it as low as possible, because since there's so much money coming in on that, like a 1% face value bet really could turn into like a 5 or 6 or even more percent by the time the game starts. So I would say when it comes to main market, don't be as tight with your limits. On player props, definitely maybe like 2% and above. But for main market, I'll play this all day, every day. I'll put just kind of like a standard unit on it, and let the line movement, work in my direction. Because right now, like I said, face value, it's nothing crazy. Okay, I mean, if we're trying to take away the VIG, okay, we're at minus 110 on each side. You take away the VIG, it's plus 100. We took it at minus 102. That's not positive EV. But you look at where all these other books are trending. You see where MGM's trending, where DraftKings is trending. All this money's already starting to come in and move that line. They either haven't gotten enough money yet, or they're just slow to change their lines. But I can guarantee you that this line will end up moving well in Boise State's favor. I'll just shoot out the prediction. We'll call it like they'll probably close closer to minus 120. And getting essentially a pick 'em for minus 120 is pretty solid. So we'll continue. VCU, pretty solid. I'll have to log into DraftKings, so I just want to go through this like kind of quickly, and then we'll go into a little more depth as we go on. We'll do this one because we're already logged into WinBet. Charleston, see, the lines are already moving, right? You look at minus 104, it's like, okay, there's not that big of an edge. The line's already moving. People are already starting to hammer in their bets, starting to lock in their lines. And I know a lot of people are really high on Charleston against San Diego State. I mean, we already took a money line. So I highly suggest trying to get in Charleston one way or another. So we'll just refresh the ARB page real quickly, see if there's anything crazy. I did see this earlier. I am going to take this. Mexico team total under 3.5 runs against the U.S. Obviously, not too many data points, not enough to justify being on the EV page, because in order for it to be there, it has to have a certain enough data points to essentially justify that it's quote unquote positive EV. But for something like this, when you only have Pinnacle's line, you kind of have to just accept, or at least that's what I do. I just accept that Pinnacle's the sharpest when it comes to these types of markets, and that I'm willing to go directly off of Pinnacle's line. Some people might need more data points, totally get that, but that's just personal preference. I mean, this is also pretty solid. Same thing. It's directly off of Pinnacle, so it's all about your like comfort. If you're willing to just take a bet directly off of a sharp book like Pinnacle, or if you want to see other data points from like a DraftKings or a MGM or a Caesars or something like that. Let's see. Tony, love it, Jordan. I'm on Charleston moneyline and Auburn moneyline so far. I love it. I saw some people were on Auburn. I didn't lock them in yet. I'm going to see if there's anything still good on there. But in the meantime, this is what I got. Evan the DJ, is there any value on Bookmaker, even though it's considered one of the sharper books? When it comes to sharper books like that, I kind of I need enough data points to justify that it's wrong. You'll notice a lot on player props where like, let's just say all these sports books are like, let's call it minus 110 across the board. And then Pinnacle will have the over like minus 157 and the under at plus 118. On something like that, I know that they're wrong. But I need DraftKings, I need FanDuel, I need like Bet Online, I need all these other, relatively sharper books to justify Pinnacle being wrong. Because more times than not, especially when it comes to main market, I'm gonna just base everything off of Pinnacle. When it comes to player props, they're not as sharp. But I still give them a lot of weight. So I hope that answered your question, Evan. All right, so there's some stuff, but there's nothing too crazy. It also kind of sucks because it is the evening and a lot of lines for tomorrow, especially like NBA stuff haven't come out yet. So we're really just banking on grabbing college basketball lines. So I saw this one before. I kind of highlighted it mentally because I really like this bet a lot. Montana State plus 9 at minus 108 for a bet like that. You could see like part of the reason this isn't showing up on the EV page is because this MyBookie line is being weighted, which is minus 128 and minus 107. That's an egregious amount of VIG compared to 16 cents a VIG here, 19 cents a VIG here, and 35 cents a VIG here. So for a play like this, main market, feels super confident going directly off of Pinnacle. Since this wasn't on the EV page, I kind of want to just get a rough idea of what my edge is. So what I'll do is I'll plug in the minus 127 and plus 108. Gives me a 53.78% win rate at that minus 127 mark, but we're grabbing it for minus 108. So we're just going to plug in the minus 108. Gives us over 3.5% edge. Okay. Now, like I said, if you trust Pinnacle as the sharpest book when it comes to main market, I know I do. This is a really easy play. Not only is this line going to move in your direction in terms of odds, but I'm very, very certain that this line is going to move in terms of just the overall line. I maybe closes at 8, 7.5, something like that. And we all know, like, yeah, the difference between like 3.5 is 4 isn't crazy because if it's like a 3-point game, they're going to foul type of thing, foul until they miss a shot, essentially. When it comes to this number, it's huge. The difference between 7 and 9 is massive, and grabbing a play where every other book is already at 8.5 shows that WinBet's line at 9 is extremely stale. Pinnacle is still favoring Montana State at 8.5. So who knows where this line could end up finishing. So we're going to grab Montana State plus 9 against Kansas State. like I said, there's no motion involved in this at all. I tried the emotion route once when I first started betting, did not have success. So I've just been doing this, and ever since I started just using math to, determine what bets I make, I've had a lot more success. So we just locked in this one. Go back to the low hold page. Let's see. Andre asked, how does the low hold page work? So pretty much it was created, at least I think, to help with those rollover bonuses. You'll notice a lot of the offshore books where it's like, a deposit match, but you have to play through it 5 times, 10 times, whatever it is. So the low hold page finds bets where the numbers are the same, just inverted. So like plus 140, minus 140. So you can put enough on each side where you're not losing any money, but it's helping you run through those first deposit bonuses. So for anyone that actually needs to do those still, highly recommend using the low hold page or the free bet converter. But I had a lot of success using the low hold page. But often you'll notice that some of these stale lines are low holds between the book that we can use in Pinnacle. And if it's main market, then it's usually a pretty good line, i.e. something like this. So that's why I use the low hold page so much, is because sometimes you're going to find lines where there's just not enough books offering that line. For example, like the Montana State one. The reason it's not showing up is because none of the other books have alternate lines yet. So these are the only books that are even offering it at the 9. And 3 is not enough for it to show up on the EV page. So the low hold page is a really good way to find those like hidden gems. You're going to have to filter through like a lot of garbage, like Brentford minus 6.5 at plus 40,000, stuff like that. But here's the Houston one I talked about. I already grabbed a little earlier, Suns Warriors under 240. I grabbed it on Superbook at 240. It's already moved a half a point under. I expect it to continue going under a little bit. So sprinkling a few bucks on either MGM or Caesars wouldn't be the worst move in the world. I definitely get behind that. FAU against Memphis. I'll do my like fake handicapping analysis of this. Memphis just won the American, probably tired. They're like, the hangover stuff. FAU obviously won, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not a handicapper, so I couldn't even explain all these trends and stuff to you. But what I do see is that clearly numbers are starting to fall in FAU's direction. You can still get it at DraftKings at plus 130. Pinnacle's already down to plus 113. I'm not sure what they opened at. I know there's different sites so you can see where the lines open and kind of like where they've been moving. But just for face value, having almost a direct arb to Pinnacle is pretty solid to me. So this is a play that I'd be willing to put a full unit on as a bit of a lottery ticket. But the thing is, when it comes to taking plus money bets, like I know for me, it took me like months and months to really feel comfortable taking plus 150s, plus 200, plus 250s, because in your head, you're like, there's no chance it's going to hit. The thing is, think about all the times that you've lost on a, let's say you made a minus, a money line parlay of all like minus 350s, and one leg always loses. And it's like, how is this team that's minus 350 losing? Well, think about the guys on the other side that took it at plus 280 that are, thrilled that they just hit a 280 money line. So realize that like on stuff like this, like, yes, you're getting it at plus 30, but it shouldn't be plus 30 or plus 130. It should be a lot lower. So that's kind of what helped me kind of get over that like mental block of being scared to take plus money bets. And ever since I've done that, I've had a lot more success, because when you do hit those, it's like, it makes up for like a bet and a half or 2 bets and stuff like that. And it turns a bad day into like a decent day, or turns a good day into a great day. Let me see this. You still consider market with what max for game props and player props. So I don't take market with too much into account, just because I kind of like to read the numbers. So let me see if I can kind of find a good example. Let's just refresh this real quickly. Oh, by the way, this one's interesting, because I actually took Thompson earlier. So lines are starting to move towards Tabilo, because we're all playing the odds and I don't have any like emotional attachment to Thompson. If you guys are seeing this now, I would take Tabilo on the money line, even though it kind of contradicts what I took earlier. It's just all about kind of the lines we're getting at, the odds we're getting it at. Let's see if there's like a good player prop. The problem is that's at night, so like there's no player props available. But essentially, like we'll just use this. It's gone. Yep, these are gone. But man, everything's moving right now. But whatever. We'll just use this as an example. Let's just say the market width was like 40. DraftKings had this at minus 110 and whatever. We'll say this was at minus 130, minus 135, minus 145. Yes, like market width pretty much shows the confidence that these sports books have in a certain bet. You know, the sharper the market is, the lower the market width is. But the thing is, like, if you look at a bet like this and you're like, okay, I clearly see there's an edge at minus 110 when every other book is at minus 140, then market width doesn't really matter too much as long as you know kind of how to like read the lines. You know, if you see that you're like, I'm getting 30 cents of edge. Well, it doesn't matter if the market width is 40 because you're like, I'm still getting a great, you know, buck for it. And I have two sharp books with Pinnacle and BetOnline, like confirming that my line is stale and that I have a good line. And you have another book that's kind of on par with them. So that's kind of my take on market width. I really don't I don't really give it too much weight. But then again, like, you know, if you don't have too much time, right, and you just want to put on the recommended filters, which takes into account market width, it gives you the sharpest or gives you the best lines that take everything into account. So it's like lower market width, so you know you're getting like, you know, a good line on a sharper market, which is probably going to lead to like a little less variance. But if you're placing a ton of volume every day, like for me at least, I'm just going for more volume over like the cream of the crop bets, even though all of my, you know, just like all of us, all of our bets have an edge, which is the reason why we're taking it. So I hope that made sense. Okay, so see if there's anything else that popped up here. Refresh it one more time. It really is like kind of a dead time. Hopefully other days are a little busier because I'm gonna try to start doing this a little more often. I think it's kind of fun just to, you know, lock in bets with everyone and do it live. I don't hate this at all. Molcon first set money line tomorrow, plus 115, plus 110, plus 120. See, so here's another funny thing about like plus money bets is when if I gave you a bet for minus 110 and told you all the books were offering it at minus 130, you would hop on it in a heartbeat. So would I. But because it's plus 130 and you're like, oh, this is plus 110, you're like, oh, like it's not enough of an edge for me to take it. Because in our heads, it's still like the fact that like plus money indicates a lower win rate, and we always think if it's plus money, there's no chance we win. But that's not the case because the same way, like how many times have you taken like a minus 180 money line, even if it's an EV bet and it still loses? You're like, how is that possible? Because you know, if it's minus 180 and it's positive EV, you have this thought in your head that like there's no shot it doesn't miss. And I'm guilty of that too, but it's just one of those things. I'm not even going to be looking at this. I will not be betting Kent State money line as my underdog bets. Just I went to IU. I can't do it. I'm actually shocked that they're only plus 165. Not a good look for us, but it's all right. All right, so we'll just try refreshing this. And then the cool thing about this also is on top of this, you can search it by the book. So like if we want to just look up DraftKings, by the way, I also filtered it for no player props because the goal is kind of just to go directly off of Pinnacle. This bet keeps on popping up and it's really good. I'm gonna place it right now. Just give me a sec to log into my DraftKings account. I hate how they make you like verify, you know, the like dual authentication thing every single time. It's like, I just want to get into my account. I just want to hit my bets and I just want to move on, but I got to do this. So give me a sec while I get this and then we'll get back on it. Okay, so it was FAU money line. They also need like the search bar on FanDuel is like just top tier. I wish they had that on every book because it really helps, especially because this is such a speed game. Having that option is massive. All right, so we got FAU Friday at 9 a.m. We got Friday. Where are they? Where are they? What I'll do sometimes also, and I've had this strategy for a while, is if like it's plus money bet and I'm just a little, like I said, like I still kind of have this like mental block when it comes to placing these plus money bets. But what helps me force is like I'll just lower my bet by $5. So instead of having like 125 my average, as you saw, like I put 120. It helps me click the button. Um, and obviously if it hits, it's great. And if I lose, it's like, oh well, I wasn't so fond of this bet, so I put $5 left. And it helps like cope with the loss. It's my little strategy. I don't know if it would work for you guys. You guys might just want to like not take the bet at all. But for me, that's something I do, and it's something that helps me. UNC Asheville, same thing. We're gonna take this also. If we want to go directly off of Pinnacle's line, we can go at 127 and 106. Pop it in at minus 110. It's going to be obviously less of an edge than the K-State one, but we're still at 2.21%. When it comes to main market, you really can't get much better than that. So we'll lock in Asheville plus 18.5. Also, I've seen a few UCLA games. Like they're not the type of team to just blow the other team out of the water by scoring like 90. They're very defensive oriented. So I feel like 18.5 is a lot of points for a UNC Asheville team that I think is actually pretty good. So we're riding with that. Let's see what else we got. I mean, hey guys, if you want Grand Canyon on the money line against Gonzaga, you're getting really good value on this. So this is actually a great example of like market width and stuff like that. Obviously, there's nothing here on market width because it's from the low hold page. But the market width on something like this would be like egregious. You know, I can actually take off my filters and I guarantee you it shows up. There we go. 15.72%, right? Market width 537. Now, yes, the market width is so high on this because look at when we're talking plus 1100 odds, like there's not going to be a consensus 1100 across the board, okay? For all the people that are throwing Gonzaga money line in their parlays, like, you know, these books are going to juice the living daylights out of it just to give these, like, you know, parlay bettors worse and worse odds. But you'll see like plus 950, plus 850, plus 920, plus 900. Like, you know, it's all kind of for the most part in that like 850 to 950 range. We're grabbing it, or if we were to take it, I'm not taking it, just letting everyone know. It's plus 1100. Okay. So if you wanted some crazy lottery ticket, it's so important to line shop just because now I'm getting that at 200 or 150 cents higher than the next book at MGM, which means if I put $100 on it, even though I'm not, I'll clarify that. You put $100 on that, like you're making a lot more money just by choosing the book to place it on. Yes, like I said, the market width is correlated with how choppy these markets and how much in a disagreement they are. But what we can all agree is that this is the outlier. And I don't think, this is clearly going to drop. So if you guys wanted a long shot and wanted to take GCU money line against Gonzaga, plus 1100 on DraftKings is the way to go. I'm not taking this personally. Actually, I will at some point when I throw like the $25 on it. I'll do it now probably. Where is it? Friday, March 17th. Okay. Well, I can just look it up. What do we got? 25 to win $300. Sounds good with me. And don't sleep on Gonzaga. Not Gonzaga. I'm sorry, GCU. Okay. What is the most units you have put in a play? The other week, Caesars had just a colossal mistake on this tennis player Daniil Medvedev on the money line. So I think I put like $1,500 on it, which I did arb out of, but that's the most I've put on a bet since I started using OddsJam. I made some stupid bets back in the day, but that was also with like the risk-free bets. And back when Caesars had, they had like a $5,000 risk-free bet. I wish I was doing this stuff when Sports Illustrated had a $10,000 risk-free bet, but since I started, 1,500 is the most I've put on a bet. So I guess you could call it like 10 units, we'll say. All right, let's get the filters back on. Try to see if we can hammer anything more, see if anything popped up. This is really solid, guys. Xavier money line. Look at this, right? I would suggest everyone stop what they're doing. If they really like Xavier money line, that probably also means that spread is decent. We can look into it. That line is going to change fast, but like minus 375, every other book is essentially double that. You're not going to beat that. That's a stupid edge. Obviously, it's minus 375 for some, so maybe like something like this. Put like enough to win 1 unit. So let's just say if your average, you want to, average bet was $100 or to win 100, maybe put 375. Obviously, it's a lot, but then again, you're also taking a minus 375 favorite with just ridiculous value. Let's see if they've done some point spread yet, because that could also be kind of intriguing. So they don't have point spread. They only have stuff on the money line. Let me refresh it, see if it's okay. It's gone. So I hope some of you guys got it. That's a really, really like a very, very strong play. MGM just bumped up their Furman money line to plus 200. I saw this earlier at plus 192, and it was a pretty solid value. So grabbing at 200 for anyone that's not limited on MGM, good play. Highly suggest taking that. We'll continue a bit. There's a lot of stuff on this Warriors Suns under. The thing with the Warriors is you never know if they're going to bench the whole team. And if they sit everyone, that line is dropping to like 232. So it's a bit of a gamble taking it so super early just because you don't know kind of the factors that go into it. But I always feel a lot better taking unders like a day before than overs, just because I feel like unders, it's easier for the under to drop because of injuries, all this other stuff, than for the over to just, explode. So we grabbed FAU already. We grabbed Boise State. We grabbed Houston. So we got everything that really caught my eye on the EV page. We can refresh the ARB page one more time, see if there's anything that pops up. It's kind of an interesting one if you guys want it. Obviously, when it comes to arbitrage, like make sure to round to there's still an ARB opportunity. Make sure to round up to like a whole number. Make sure it's not like to the cent, or don't do like, $71 and $71, maybe make it 70. Just, it's one way to make sure that like the books don't catch on, because obviously they're super smart, but like doing stuff like that is just giving them another reason to try to limit you. But there's a pretty good ARB here. So like if we wanted to do the ARB calculator, we'll just say like $100. Obviously you're putting a lot of money on here, but guaranteed like $40. It's really not bad. Okay, so let's refresh the low hold page one more time, see if there's anything crazy that pops up. Like I said, I would just suggest for everyone just to constantly be like, refreshing every so often. We're going to take Santa Barbara plus 11, by the way. Also, what's interesting is that often the sharp money is like not the fun money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these are taking the underdog plus points just because the popular bets get like bet so much that that the lines are just super inflated. So we're going to take Santa Barbara plus 11.5, or plus 11. Like you'll often see where it's like, 90% of the money is on, or 90% of the bettors are on this, but like 90% of the money is on the other team. And it kind of just shows like where the sharp money is. Okay, Santa Barbara plus. Santa Barbara is a very good team, by the way. I've seen them play a bit. Obviously, they're taking on Baylor. So like, I don't know how much that will stand up, but I like them a lot. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Michigan State on the money line against USC. I like this too. I really like this one. You guys can see kind of where everything is. Clear discrepancy on this. Like I said, and especially when it comes to main market, the lines are so much sharper where you're not going to be able to like pounce on these 40, 50 cent edges like you will with player props. So grabbing this at minus 120, really solid. You could kind of see where like Pinnacle's already heading. All of these books are already heading towards Michigan State. And I always have this theory that's like, once the ball gets rolling and all the money starts to flood in on one team, it's like nothing will stop it until the game starts. Like I had a UFC bet that opened up at 146, minus 146. I took it. I think it closed at like minus 240. It was like just every single day, the odds kept on moving and moving and moving until in his direction until, it's time for the fight to start. So Michigan State, we'll throw a few more bucks on that one. I don't know if it's like the Big Ten bias in me, but I like it. We're not getting it at minus 110. We're whatever. We'll throw 150 on this one. At the end of the day, like a lot of people ask me about unit sizing and like bankroll management and how to use like the Kelly criterion and all that. And my answer always is at the end of the day, it's just crucial to have like good, solid bankroll management because if every play has an edge, like it doesn't actually matter how much you put on every one. Like, yeah, if you find a crazy high play, like you might want to throw a few more bucks on it just because it's like taking advantage of the really bad line. But overall, if you kind of just want like a consistent, slow but steady upswing or just, profit day in, day out, I kind of just go based off like now I just kind of go based off a unit-based system. I used to bankroll bet, but I kind of switched to this. I just found it to be a little less volatile. But it doesn't mean you have to put like the exact same. Like for this one, I was like, okay, I like it a little bit more. Like I said, a little bit of bias, but it still has an edge. I'll throw 150 on it. If it's a play that I really don't like, but the numbers are suggesting it, I'll knock it to 120. Like, I'll just kind of, and if I really like it or I just want to feel a little something, I want to get the heart rate up, maybe I'll put like 175 on it at 200. So, yes, I'm going to have different bet amounts on every bet that I make, but they all have an edge. So as long as you can kind of manage that bankroll properly and make sure that you're not betting so much or cutting yourself so thin where if you do have like a bad week stretch, you're out of money, then you're good to go. I wouldn't overthink it, but I understand that it's like really tough not to because it's your money we're talking about. You want to make sure that you're being responsible with it, and you want to make sure you're also maximizing your potential profits. I will take this on Caesars later, or not Caesars, DraftKings, sorry. Like I said, I'm going to put 25 bucks on every like money line, whether it's plus 2,200 or plus 370. But I'm just going to use like line shot for that. Obviously EV doesn't really play a role in that. If you guys didn't want to take FAU money line, taking them plus 3 on DraftKings or Barstool, really solid options. Like I said, you can kind of already see where the market's heading. It's not gonna close at 3. It's probably gonna close maybe 2.5, something like that. So getting the half point, especially when it's such a tight line already and it's already plus 3, grabbing that extra point, having that ability to push is huge because we all know a push is a win. Even though it might not show up as one, it's a win. Same thing with Michigan State. If you like them, you don't want to take a money line, take them spread of 1.5. DraftKings is your best book. Let's see. That was literally just DraftKings. Like we could look up Barstool next. And you can just do this for every single book or just like keep it general. Let me like log back or go back into it. Hold on. Or you can just go into it and like see the best ones. But if you want to like really go into depth, because sometimes, if it's like, let's just say minus 112 and then plus 108, it might not show up. But if you go on the front page, but if you search up the book, so let's do like Superbook or something like that, then you can find some other stuff that wasn't showing up on the other side. Princeton, Arizona, over 153. Really like this a lot. I mean, the reason that there's no other books offering it is because they've already moved. The fact that this is already bet up to minus 154.5 on DraftKings and we're grabbing it at minus 153 is awesome. Like I said, hold on one sec. Like I said, when it comes to like over-unders, like you'll see times where the over or the under hits by like half a point, but it isn't as big of a half a point as it is in like a spread. But seeing that early line movement already and seeing where Superbook is still having their line at is definitely intriguing. So just hopped on here. We'll look up Arizona. Oh, not that. Who are they playing? Princeton. Okay, so we're grabbing them at 153. Double check that that's what we were looking at. Yep. All right, so here we go. Another 125. So it's just the same thing, right? We're not reinventing anything. I don't have any like crazy model that I use. I'm not any like math and genius by any means. I'm just looking at the numbers and I'm just kind of reading where they are and reading kind of the trajectory that these lines are going in. If you guys want Tennessee minus 10, minus 108 on WinBet, but pretty much like to sum everything up, it's so crucial to not just kind of rely on the EV page. Obviously, phenomenal. I find a ton of bets there, but especially like at this time of the day, it's later at night, or when you're looking for bets far in advance. And let's just say there aren't alt lines yet that are posted. You're not going to see those really good lines on the EV page. You're going to have to look on the low hold page just because there aren't enough books to justify it being a good bet, because they don't have odds for like, you know, how like you can, you know, do an alt line and it'll show up on that. But for right now, since we're so far out, it's not showing up anywhere. I mean, these lines just got posted. I mean, within what, a couple hours, few hours. Here's a prop that came up if you guys want it. It's pretty good, actually. I mean, it's essentially a plus 100. You're getting it for plus 106. So if we just wanted to kind of toy around with it, to say it's a 50%, 3%, like if we wanted to just kind of do that, it's pretty solid. The reason why it's lower is just because it takes this into account. But you could see like literally just about across the board, we're looking at dead even odds on each side. Take out the VIG, it's plus 100. Let's see if we can find like a couple more, and then I'll probably wrap it up. Do any of you guys have a book that you'd want me to look at? I can do Barstool if you guys use Barstool a lot. See if we can find anything good on there. I did see this before. I really like this one. West Virginia, Maryland, under 141.5. Maryland's a tough team. Play very good defense. They aren't very good at scoring. I know West Virginia, press Virginia, run fast pace, all that, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, that's all like, that's kind of our emotional instincts kicking in just from like previous experiences of watching these teams. But clearly the numbers are really liking the under here. Again, we can expand on it, see where all the other books are chilling at. Some of them are already as low as 139.5. That's where Pinnacle has their line at. We're grabbing it at 141.5. That's pretty big. So I'm going to go log in to that real quickly, and then we'll place that bet. Okay. Andre said FanDuel, and Ryan said limited to 49 cents on Barstool. Do you have any of the other Kambi affiliates like BetRivers, Unibet, TwinSpires, any of those? Because that could be a good, I mean, they all have the same odds, so it could be a good alternate if you have it. And then Andre, I'll definitely look on FanDuel right after this. Let me just grab this one. So we're just going to move the line. Right now they got 141.5. We're going to move it, give up. See, like you could see usually on FanDuel, you can move that line like a lot. We'll put 130 on this. Why not? Because we're taking a little bit over minus 110. Are we good? Yep, we're good. Every time I place a bet on Barstool, I'm like shaking that I'm going to get limited because it's just a matter of time. I exhausted BetRivers. That's what I started with. And now I'm using Barstool as long as I can. And then I'll probably move to like Unibet or something like that. The cool thing is though, I heard, so with Barstool, like you don't re-register your account like you do for some of the others, but on BetRivers, since you do re-register, I heard it like resets your limits because you're in a new state. So if you guys ever go to a new state and you want to sign up again for those, you're good to do it. And you can just kind of take advantage of the free bets, but also use it and not be limited, which is awesome. So we just grab that. We'll see if there's anything else of note, and then we'll move over to FanDuel. West Virginia also minus 1.5. I'm always a little like weird on those where it's, you know, I have two of the, you know, like main market bets in the same game. Because then you're just like, okay, well, if Maryland hits, you know, 72, then you're out of luck. Now you're okay. Now you have to be lucky to win both type of thing. Obviously, it's a great payday if they both hit, but I don't know. It's March. We'll throw a few bucks on this. It doesn't hurt. We'll throw 125 on this one. Why not? Okay, so we got more in. Go down a little bit more, see if there's anything else that really catches our eye. There's always like stuff like I took this earlier today. I think it was like 121 on the over. But you know, if you guys want it, I like it. I already took it, but I got it at a few points better. So I'm not advising it, but I don't hate it for sure. But right now, I mean, we're just looking for college basketball. So I'll take a step back on tennis for the first time ever. It's pretty good for anyone that uses Bet Online. I know this is not college basketball, but Louisville, Carolina, plus 165 on the money line on Bet Online. Obviously, this is like a good example of when would I trust taking, like someone asked about bookmaker. When I would trust taking it like on a sharper book is kind of when I see all these data points where I'm like, okay, every other book is literally like minus 145, right? 145, 146, 145, 146 type of thing. We're getting 165. So I feel comfortable enough knowing that Bet Online's line is flawed on a bet like that. Okay, FanDuel. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna take this. I already took him on the money line. I'm gonna hammer this. I really like that play. Let me just log in real quickly. Okay. This is really solid. Like again, no, it's a gross bet. Are we really taking GCU and the points? Like, you know, obviously you want to bet the favorites. Like, it's more fun. Don't get me wrong, but like I just, like I said, I bet with emotion for a long time and I did not do very well. So now that, you know, I've kind of realized that this is the way to go, and I think it's really the future of sports betting, or at least for, you know, profitable sports bettors. You really have to kind of take that like emotional aspect out of it, but you're really not going to find a better line than this. I mean, if we wanted to go directly off of Pinnacle for the EV, we're looking at 134, 112. You're getting damn near a 55% win rate for minus 110. It's almost 5%. Just ridiculous. I hope for whoever's watching right now, you guys grab that, because that line is not going to stay there for long. I can assure you that. And it's also like, I don't know about you guys, it's such a cool feeling when you grab a bet and you're like, okay, I really like this, and you check back like 2 hours later, the line's already moved so much in your favor. It's like, I knew that, like, even though we just used data to realize where the lines were wrong. It still makes you feel good. That's more tennis. I can't stay away from it. If you guys want rugby, no, I don't. I see on something like this, I don't know who I would trust, Barstool or FanDuel. I just don't know. So I'm staying away from that. Iona plus 9.5 at minus 114. Expand that, see kind of where everyone else is at. I like it. I definitely like it. We'll throw it in just to see what the no vig is on that. 129 and plus 108. 54% at minus 114. It's a bit of a lower edge on that one for sure, but I'm still gonna play it. Like I said, I wanna have so much on the board for those days. Like, if I go broke, I go broke, but at least I went out swinging and grabbing the best lines, obviously. Okay. You grabbed Iona. If you guys like tennis, pretty good line on Molchan versus was it Fuksovich or Fuksovich or something like that? I don't know, something like that. On the under games, UC Santa Barbara, we already grabbed. Pretty solid. Oh, we grabbed it at plus 11. That's what I'm saying. Like, we grabbed it at plus 11 at minus 110. The vast majority of these books are offering it at minus 110 at plus 10.5. So right there alone, now we have an extra out by having the ability to push. FAU still on the board if you guys want it. Furman on the money line, bit of a long shot. I'm going to be taking it at some point. I just got to figure out the book because I'm not taking it on MGM. I physically can't. So right now, like FanDuel isn't really offering the best line on too many. Same thing. We grabbed this at -110 at +3. Here it's 2.5 at -106. So FanDuel isn't giving us crazy lines. The only one that really stands out to me, I like the Iona one, but this GCU one is definitely something that everyone needs to take. Just way too good to pass up. Ryan asked, is the OddsJam line in their Pinnacle? Yeah, Pinnacle. So the OddsJam icon is the exact same as Pinnacle. So if you're ever curious what that OddsJam icon, like how they got those odds, it's just Pinnacle's line. Like look at UNC Asheville. I think we already took UNC Asheville. And yeah, I mean, if we were going directly, same thing. Like if I use Pinnacle, it's interchangeable with like OddsJam. So it's just the same line. That's the OddsJam odds. It's just the Pinnacle lines or the Pinnacle odds. So I hope that cleared everything up for you. Let's see. I'll just kind of close out of some of these. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want to look up like Bally because Bally is so soft, and I don't know. I'm limited on there. It's not even worth my time to look. I don't know. I mean, listen, we got a good amount of bets in. I'm gonna refresh the EV page one more time, see if there's anything that pops up that we didn't catch before. I'm gonna be taking this. Actually, okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys' opinion on this. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So Maria Sakkari is plus 115 on Superbook. Okay, it's plus 110 here, plus 105 there, whatever. Pinnacle, though, as I've talked about, sharpest book when it comes to main market, really likes, or they're pretty much like, even on both. So they're really liking it at plus 115, not so much anywhere here. But you look at books like Superbook, Bally, WinBet, MGM, all of which aren't particularly sharp books. I would say the sharpest one is WinBet, but we don't have like a DraftKings. We don't have a bet online to justify anything. But we are grabbing here at minus 105. So I'm curious what you guys would do. Personally, what I would do is I would take both. I would take both because it's a direct arbitrage. So I could arb out, lock up a few bucks, but then also just kind of track the line movement to see if Pinnacle's right after all, or if Pinnacle is actually wrong on a line like this, and that you should kind of just look for more of the overall average odds, and then go from there. So I'm curious to see what you guys would do. But for some play like this is something that I would 100% take. The reason, by the way, that the EV percentage is so high, you might be curious why it's 6.4% when a lot of books are offering kind of close to that, is because the books that they give more weight to, like FanDuel, like Pinnacle, because they're so much more in favor of Sakkari than the other books, they have, and because they're sharper, and I think they figured it out using like historical data and stuff to determine which markets or which books have like sharper markets and so on and so forth. They give more weight to these two books. So that's kind of what's bringing this like overall odds down, because they're weighting these a lot higher. So that's the reason why it's so much higher. And it's kind of why I like to look into it. And you can see like, okay, there we go. So what do you call it? Wasn't, I mean, it's not terrible still. Like there's still value on Sakkari at plus 115. Don't get me wrong. It's actually starting to balance out a little bit. So I would still take it here, but this was a bit of a tricky one. Like I wouldn't really know what to do on the spot, honestly. Okay, so we can kind of go on. Enough about talking about Sakkari and who is it, Pliskova. We already grabbed that. If anyone wants, I know you need two more at least, but Booker under assist, if anyone wants, it's pretty solid. I mean, we can mess around and look real quickly. Just do like a quick underdog check on the low hold page. Oh, that's why, because I gotta take off player props or put on player props. Yeah, right now it's only Booker. I mean, we're not gonna get lines, like that many lines until the morning. So if you guys can find something on like the screen page, but I'm not gonna look over there right now. You know what? I would say that's about it for now. It did go pretty long, so Oh, let's see. Paula Badosa tennis 8.5 first set. Was that on the art page, or would you find that? I'll take a look at it and show everyone. Maybe low hold. Let's see. Also, the middle page. It's tough to find stuff there sometimes, but you know, there's times where you can find some pretty good bets. Oh, low hold. Okay. On was it on DraftKings? Do you know by any chance, Ryan? We'll try and see what it says. Oh, here we go. Okay, perfect. So this is an interesting one. So it's like, okay, DraftKings clearly giving you a really good line on it, but they are known to be like a sharper book. So on a play like this, usually what I would do is, even though it does take the DraftKings line into account when determining, when giving out the average odds, I would try to kind of find a middle point. So like, let's just, I don't even want to look at Barstool. I don't trust their lines at all. I mean, FanDuel's just taking atrocious vig on something like this. So we're not really going to include them. We'll say it's like minus 290 and plus 210. We can kind of just get a rough idea of like what we're talking about. So minus 290 plus 210. There's just about a 70% win rate. I'm grabbing it at plus or minus minus 230. It's not great. I wouldn't take it personally. I mean, it's 0.06, so like technically you're not really going to lose money in the long run taking something like this, but it's also super narrow margins where if it moved at all against you, you're kind of screwed. Or now you're screwed. Like, the odds are still on your side in terms of like you have a 70% chance of winning. But the problem with those is like you lose one and it's like, man, like that just, it hurts because, with something like that, you're putting a few more bucks on it than you normally do on other bets and so on and so forth. So we're almost at the hour mark. I'm probably going to call it. I hope this helped. I hope you guys were able to lock in some pretty good bets. I know I mentioned I'm going to put a bracket together. Oh, let's see. Just Howard plus 2. Don't know if it's positive. Okay, let me look real quickly. Let's check if it's here. But what I was saying before is I'm more than happy to do this type of stuff again. By the way, this is also pretty solid. North Carolina State plus 5.5 against Creighton. I forgot we never went over Caesars. But I'm going to try to do stuff like this again. I had a good time. Obviously, I love answering all the questions you guys have. I hope you guys were able to find some good bets. I know I was. And I'm just pumped. I'm just pumped for March already. I don't know if I'm going to have money to bet for the next couple of days because I'm going to have it all deployed for March. Okay, let's see. Howard 22.5. Howard money line. Let's check the just check the screen page is probably easier. Okay, point spread. Okay, so yeah, I mean, listen, that's pretty solid. Obviously, actually, it's an interesting one because yeah, you're getting it for an extra point higher than a ton of other books, but like I don't know. I probably wouldn't take it. 22.5. You can get on Caesars and FanDuel or Caesars and DraftKings, but Pinnacle's got it at 21.5, but they're favoring the Kansas at minus 21.5. So I would lay off that one. But obviously, if you like it, by all means, I mean, listen, 22.5 points is a lot of points. And there's going to be some fluke stuff that happens at the end of the game, like it always does. So anyways, that's going to be it. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely, going to try doing this again going forward. But that's about it from me. All right, I'll see you guys.